All right, let's get into it, guys. All right, so I've been wearing my Whoop band for over a year. I did a 3-month review, and then I fell off the wagon. I didn't do a review at 6 months, 9 months, all that sort of stuff. But it's been gaining traction, so it looks like a lot more people are interested in alternatives other than just the Apple Watch. So after wearing the Whoop band for over a year, here's my honest experience. This isn't paid advertisement. I'm not collaborating with them at all. This is my honest opinion and if I'd recommend it to you. So here's the reason that it caught my eye in the first place. There were two fitness accessories on the market whenever I was looking. The Oura Ring and the Whoop band. Now I know a lot of people have the Oura Ring, but I'm just not a big fan of jewelry. I wear my wedding ring, but that's about as much as I wear for jewelry. I don't wear any necklaces, so it just wasn't really my style. I was already wearing an Apple Watch, so I was kind of used to having something on my wrist, and I thought, okay, I got used to that, so I can get used to a Whoop band. So when I first started wearing it, I wore it on my right wrist. So I was wearing the Apple Watch and the Whoop band, basically double wristing it. It felt weird. It got a lot of people saying, "Oh, why do you have, why are you wearing two watches?" Basically, and it just didn't feel right. So basically, what I did was I had a old Apple Watch band, and it has it was an elastic one, and it had loops that you just put through here, and it would just stretch, and you could do all that sort of stuff. So I basically jerry-rigged this thing to where I cut off that elastic part, and I just slipped in my Whoop bands, and so now I have my Apple Watch and my Whoop band all on the same wrist. I find this a lot better, mainly because it's already on here. I'm already wearing my Apple Watch. I get my notifications and all that, and it's pretty simple just to charge basically one at a time. So for the charge, I can get away with having the Apple Watch for 2 days and the Whoop going to full charge for about 3 to 4, depending on how much I'm working out and all that sort of stuff. So the charge is pretty good. It's not like I have to charge each one every night, and so I don't get it. That was stupid. I don't know why I struggled with that. So that was the first challenge that I had to overcome, and I think I didn't even address that in my 3-month video. I think I was still wearing one on the other. So that was the first challenge. After that, it was a cakewalk. The only time it gets in the way is for lat pull downs. If I'm using a handle that you hold it like this, it'll hit it right here. But other than that, I don't really feel it. It hits the bottom, or it hits the desk, but that's not a huge deal. And again, the other alternative was wearing another ring. I've seen there's other fitness influencers that have the Oura Ring, and they take it off when they do like barbell exercises. And I wanted to have it on so I could see, what my heart rate was and all that sort of stuff, how much intensity I'm doing an exercise, or how intense I am during an exercise. So I didn't think it was important to have that, and it has all the same metrics as well. So that's the really big reason why I went with Whoop instead of Oura Ring. So some of the best features that I believe that it has is the stress monitor, the sleep score, and the strain optimization, basically the strain score. I'll go through each one of those. The stress monitor basically just keeps track of your heart rate throughout the day during non-workout activities. So when you're working, when you're on a phone call, when you're driving to work, it doesn't necessarily know that you are doing all that stuff, but it keeps tabs on your heart rate if it's getting higher, and it'll give you a score between 1 to 3. 1 is low stress, 2 is medium, and 3 is high stress, and it goes in between all of those. So it's nice to know, okay, I was on a phone call, and it was a very important phone call. I was a little stressed for that. And so it shows you, and then it gives you a stress score for that day. And it's just a nice thing to see. Okay, I was stressed out. That I didn't feel like I was, but my body was obviously showing that I was stressed out. The next one is sleep score. For this one, it takes a couple of different metrics. It takes how long you were asleep, but then it also subtracts how often you woke up and when you were awake while you were still in bed. So if you had if you slept for 7 hours, but in between that time you woke up or had awake events that equaled 30 minutes, you were really asleep for 6 hours and 30 minutes, which I think is, useful. There's been days where I felt like, oh man, I had a really good night of sleep, and then found out that I was awake for an hour during that time, and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize. But later in the day, I could feel that, oh yeah, I felt tired earlier in the day, and that I didn't really get a good night of sleep. And then it suggests when you should go to sleep, so you keep a consistent sleep schedule. This helps with your circadian rhythm, and just makes it easier to fall asleep and stay asleep. So that's why I like the sleep score. The thing for a personal trainer for me is obviously going to be the strain, seeing how well or how effectively I worked out or didn't work out. For the strain score, it changes every day based on your recovery, which is your sleep, and other factors. How the strain score works is it's a 0 to 21. From what I've read from Whoop, is that you can never get to 21. Getting to 21 is literally impossible. You can get to 20.9, but you can't get to 21. Take it up with them. I don't know exactly why they did that, but that's just what they did. So basically, if you wake up and you just have a normal day, you're going to get a 4. That's going to be the number you can get. Super easy to get. Everyone basically gets that. After that, when you walk, when you do any sort of exercise, when you have a stressful phone call or meeting or anything like that, it increases your strain, which is just your body reacting to what's going on in the day. Now, you can have workouts. You can do this feature that's called Strength Trainer, which you basically put in your workout, how many sets, how many reps, and you basically log your workout through there. It shows the rest time that you were doing all that, the active time that you were doing all that as well. And it gives you a score. Now, sometimes it feels like it's off a little bit, but it could just be me personally, like, oh, I felt like I was working hard that day, but my body's going to tell me, no, you weren't. Your heart rate was lower. You weren't pushing it as far as you could. And sometimes that happens, as any personal trainer will know. Every workout's not going to be the same. Your body's going to be able to tell you if you can push harder or push less hard. So I really like that feature. So I'll go through some of the pros and the learning curves. And I think the biggest one was learning how to basically get over wearing it on two sides, my Apple Watch and Whoop on the right arm. And obviously that was make my own strap. I didn't make my own strap. I just basically used 2 loops and put it on the one that my Apple Watch was already on. And then at the time when I first started, I was actually using Trainerize and the Whoop app, the Strength Trainer app in the Whoop, to log my workouts. And I got tired of doing it, and I would just put in a weightlifting and wouldn't track my stats. And it doesn't make a huge difference, but if you're doing more legs, it's going to be harder on the body. So it's going to know, okay, you did put in a number for legs. You did 225 bench press for 10 reps for legs, rather than you did a weightlifting workout and it doesn't know the weight you did, the sets, the reps, anything like that. It just knows what your heart rate was at. So that's basically the difference between just logging as weightlifting and doing the Strength Trainer. You can actually log and do all that fancy stuff. But I got tired of double logging it. It just got, it became a nuisance. I eventually got rid of Trainerize, so if you do any one-on-one coaching with me, we don't use Trainerize anymore. We got rid of it. It just wasn't working. Not to rag on Trainerize or anything at all, but it just wasn't working, so I switched to something else. But it's become easier to use the Whoop just because I can do it right then. It didn't feel like a nuisance or anything like that. So that was a real easy one to get over after I got rid of my other logging app. So a lot of people are going to ask, okay, you have an Apple Watch. What's the difference? Why would you have two fitness, accessories? Because that's really what the Apple Watch is, or is marketed to. The main difference in what I didn't know this when I first got it. The Apple Watch inflates the calorie burn dramatically. When I would do a 30 to 45-minute workout with just my Apple Watch, I was basically doing the same exercises. Not like I was doing anything crazy, anything like that. I would probably get 200, 300 extra calories for active calories, not just total calories, active calories for my Apple Watch. I've never ran the two at the same time because I didn't want to. I can do that if y'all really want to. If you want to see the difference, I can do an exercise with my Apple Watch going at the same time and my Whoop tracking it at the same time. And it will show the difference. But it was a huge difference, and it made me realize, okay, previously I was going based off that, and I was eating, calories to that amount. So, I would think I was burning 3,000 calories a day when really I was burning like maybe 2,500 or 2,200, but I was eating as if I was burning 3,000. So I was eating about 2,500 calories or in that area. So I wasn't in a deficit. I was actually in a maintenance or even a surplus, and I didn't know. So not that you should go solely based off of these, but it's at least nice to know and be accurate so that you can, you're not in a maintenance or surplus when you're supposed to be cutting and in a deficit. So that was one thing. I also couldn't put in my workouts, like my training plan, into the Apple Watch or fitness app. So it couldn't really keep like, oh, you lifted this much or anything like that, which I don't need that, but it's nice to know, okay, this is the amount that I lifted. It was a good lift. And it'd give me a grade for, the Whoop gives you a little grade for your workout as well. So another thing that I liked about the Whoop app is that I focused more on rest periods because it showed me, hey, this is your rest. So whenever you pull it up, you do a workout, then you hit start set. You do your exercise for however long. It usually takes me about 30, 35 seconds to do it. Then you hit inset, and then it shows you your rest. I made it a very good point to do at least a minute and a half to 2 minutes, and I saw a dramatic change in how much I could lift, how long I could lift, and also muscle gain because I was letting my body recover in that time when before I honestly didn't know. I looked at it and thought, oh, okay, it's probably been about 90 seconds. I didn't really know because it's kind of just like, oh, you look whenever. It helped me focus more on rest periods. And it gave me a better idea of, oh, it actually does work. It's not just, oh, you're just resting. You can be on your phone. You can do whatever. You're not actually working hard. No, it's actually important that you rest in between sets and have plenty of rest before you go into your next set. The other thing it helped with is scheduling workouts based on your recovery status. Generally, I don't have the best recovery. I don't have the best sleep schedule. So that's why that's on me. That's not on the Whoop. So I would fall into the orange area. That's between 66% and I think 34% recovery. But I'd usually fall in there, and it'd give me a goal to hit for the day. So it would be between like 7.5 and maybe 12 or 13 is usually where it falls in between. It would make sure I don't overreach or don't push too hard to where then I get a worse recovery and I'm not recovering as good. But if I get a green recovery, it's basically green means go, and you can go all out. Just make sure you recover as well. Recover just as good with a good night's sleep. All right, and then here's some of the things that I don't necessarily care for. I'm not really interested in it. It has a community feature. I signed up for a couple community. It's free. You don't have to. If you get the band, you don't have to pay to be in a community or anything. But what I realized, and maybe it's because of different time zones, I would like check it in the morning, and these people would have like 20.9 strain, and it's I don't think it's best for me because I'm kind of competitive. I want to be up there in the ranks. But there's these people that either they are doing bullcrap exercises and just leave their workout going, or they're trainers and they start an exercise and then they go into it. I'm not exactly sure. I wasn't the biggest fan, so I didn't do too much with it, but it wasn't my favorite. And I'm not there to socialize on it or anything. And you can't actually. I don't think you can message or do anything. So it was just kind of like, oh, Stephanie has 20.9 and she did 5 yoga exercises, and it's like, okay, she's either a trainer or that's like bullcrap. So I just didn't play around with it at all. But if you're interested in that, it's something to look into. But for me, I didn't need it. The other thing I don't like about it is the band is water resistant, and it dries fast. But they say you can wear it in the shower. I don't. I just take it off. It's what I'm in there for maybe 5-10 minutes. Just take it off and just put it back on. I don't need to have a wet band whenever I walk outside or right after I leave for work or anything. It's just not needed. So it's water resistant. You can wear it in the pool. You can do all that. I've done that before. But in the shower, just take it off. It's not needed. Let's see how much a Whoop band is right now. So we'll just go on their website. All right, so there's a couple different memberships you can do. They do based on membership. You can either do 24-month, which is $400, yearly, which is $239, family memberships, which is as low as $199, and then you can pay monthly, which is $30 a month. So if you are serious about your fitness, I believe it's a great investment. If it's really something that you're just kind of like, oh, I think it would be cool, it'd be like, it's trendy. I may want it. I don't know. If you don't absolutely sure you want it, you probably don't need it. For me, it's really nice to know, okay, this was my heart rate. This was my sleep score. This was my strain. And then I adjust to it basically every day. You don't have to be as intense. You can be a little bit more lax with it. But I saw a huge difference in it from the Apple Watch Fitness. I would personally recommend it. I would give it, out of 5 stars, I would give it 4.5. The things that knock it down is the community. It's it's cool, but it's not for me. But it's I think a lot of people do like it, but again, it's not for me. The fact that at the beginning I did wear it, double wristed, and then they don't necessarily have a product that would connect it with the Apple Watch like I had to do. I mean, I basically just found something on Amazon that I already had, cut off the wristband, and then put the loops on my Apple Watch, and now I can put any band I want on it. And maybe after they see this, they may think, oh, that's something new. But that knocks it down because most people don't figure that out at first. And then they just have to wear either 2 or both on the same hand, which that looks kind of goofy to me. So that's why I didn't do that. But yeah, I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I definitely recommend if you're serious about your training and want to make a noticeable difference in how you recover and how you plan your workouts based on that. But yeah, and then I think they can make some improvements to the strength trainer. I would like to see more exercises in there. I feel like I'm making a lot of custom exercises that they're not weird. They're not common. So it's just kind of weird that I have to make a custom exercise, put it in there, and it's kind of normal. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but If it has to do with cables, it's typically not in there, like cable rotations. I've noticed cable internal rotations, that's not in there. And it may be like a specific genre, like that's kind of more PT work that I was doing there. So maybe they don't have that sort of stuff. But other than that, I think it's a solid fitness wearable and has a really great app. All right, guys, if y'all have any questions about the Whoop app, I'm more than happy to take questions. Leave it in the comments. And then if you do have a Whoop app, let me know how you thought it was. Give it a 1 out of 5 stars. Let me know what you think.